All right, good afternoon, cyber traders. Welcome on back here this Monday, April 24th. And it looks like we have a nice runner here to begin our afternoon on the MGRX. Hopefully, I don't jinx myself with saying that, but great to see all of our students and members alike inside our live trading room. Great to have all of us back joining us there. Great to have all of us back joining us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. Now, to begin, we have our class coming up ahead, the Phase 1 stock course continuing along today at 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time for any of our bronze students and above, bronze, silver, gold, plat, diamond students. You folks have access to that. So I look forward to talking to you all later on today as we'll look to continue basically our conversation from the morning. This time just kind of showing you how we look to kind of scan the market, build up the watch list. Of course, you hear me go over it so frequent, and Fausto himself in the mornings and the afternoons respectively. But we're going to take a full 60-minute class on the how-tos, the A to Z's on basically how the sauce is made in terms of the watch list. So MGRX to begin, well, at least for this afternoon, we're going to put this back on our watch list right away. It's hard for us not to, right? It's at the highs. Typically, one quick rule for afternoon scanning, a little free game for all of us on social right now. For a stock that's near the highs or near the lows, respectively, heading into this time of the day, that's basically what you'd want to start with. So MGRX took a nice run up in pre-market on Friday morning. It popped at the open, and then from there it dumped back down. Well, it ended up making a nice move again today, this morning for us. So, we've been watching this really out the gate since the morning into the afternoon right now. So, it had a pretty big resistance a moment ago. I don't know if the order ended up getting completely filled or not. So, allow me actually to bring up level 4. Actually, coming up in the phase 1 course on Wednesday, we'll actually revisit level 4, do a full 60-minute class on that. But just a moment ago, no, it was even here at 2:15. Pretty big order that was at 2:15, but it wasn't there for long. A lot of funny business happening here on the order book collectively. 220, that order got pulled. Looks like a few other orders popping in and out in between. So you can't really trust too much out there. I would say, if anything, perhaps 220, and then as of now, 240. This order at least has been out there since like 1:40 Eastern time, close to an hour. So that actually I do respect a bit there. 240. We'll see if it can get that far. But yeah, MGRX, not a bad stock to at least begin with here for right now. But let's go from top to bottom here. Otherwise, let's just build up our watch list here quickly for Phil and Bill. There we go. That rhymed. I'll talk to you folks coming up in class here ahead. So let's just go from top to bottom here. INAB, a stock that I ended up taking half profits on just a moment ago. I missed out on a really big chunk of this run from the morning into the afternoon, but we were focused on other trades. I mean, a bunch of our students were able to get it from the morning. You can't catch everything, folks. So, the ACON was a great stock for myself this morning. MGRX now, AI also. Now the INAB, I'm still in on half my position right now. I ended up jumping in once it broke under and then over from 3. It dropped off a lot, so I was looking for the bounce off the whole number. Made the perfect entry. I ended up getting out on half my position at 323. So I guess I could have done away and kept the whole thing in there, but I just wanted to recover some losses that I ended up taking across the early to mid afternoon. I ended up taking a series of like 4 or 5 break even small losses in a row, and those add up. Those wipe out some of the profits made from earlier. It was a great morning, so I want to kind of do away with those losses. So I did that there. I still have half the position though remaining, and we'll look to see this try and bounce back up higher into the afternoon. I'll put this on our list, and my stop on the second half of this trade is just break even. So this craps the bed, pulls back during this meeting. I'll likely just get stopped out right at 3, if not like 298, 297. All right. A lot of talking today. I've been on a live microphone for nearly the last 5.5 hours, probably about 30 minutes of break total in between. So, water break there. Let's just continue here along, folks. INAB, ACON. I had marked up my chart on this trade earlier, coming off one of our coaching calls earlier today with one of our students. So the ACON trade popped up earlier. We took full advantage of the run up on this trade. I'm going to remove my lines now at this point because we're not going to follow this heading into the close. Maybe it's possible if the stars align and this truly holds here, it can pump back up closer to 2. But at this point, I think that we talked about this in the morning class in the phase 1 stock course. I would say this is pretty exhausted. I guess you could say the same on INAB in terms of volume, but clearly not in terms of looking at the chart. So, you have to focus on both. CACO. I hadn't seen this one earlier up until now. So it popped up pretty nicely before, talking about like 1 o'clock, 1:30 Eastern, up towards a high of close to 150. Pulled back down. It's kind of teetering with the VWAP here and big CVP level altogether off 120. Mm, I feel like it's one of those like pop and drop type of plays. I'd be pretty leery about this one. And you could say the same. You could say the same on MGRX here, but MGRX we at least are familiar with back from the end of last week. If it can hold around this area here, it provides good chance for a nice pop higher. But well, actually, the one thing here is that you don't want to trust too much of this here for the daily chart because it's a new IPO. You can't really use much of the chart as like strong historical data, like keyword strong. So the one thing I could tell you is that 225 is the low in the open on this candle here back from late March. Looks like back from here, open 222, low 216, roughly around that vicinity should be a bit of a historical. So if it could like truly flip that into support, then we have our hands on a nice, like real respectable runner. But even if it breaks the highs here and continues up a little bit more, you still have to worry about that. It's right around like 216, 220-ish. And I know high of the day 215, so basically close enough, right? Well, even if it does continue, that doesn't mean it's like totally going to run from here. I'd still say a little over, right around 222-ish, maybe even a little bit higher, 225. Again, it's on our list for a reason, so we'll see if this can make the higher high. Getty. So proposed buyout on this one, right? That was the news that came out. So from a zoomed out look, looking at the big pop here it made, so to say, looks pretty flat, but led to a couple of little bounce opportunities if you knew what to watch for here, roughly around 670, 665 on a couple of double bottom attempts there. Pre-market at first, we tried following this early off a bottom. So, otherwise it just didn't really break that higher high, that runner that we wanted to see. The proposed buyout was at $10. So, in hopes of seeing it make a fraction of a run back up closer towards 10 even, it didn't even do that. It made a couple of bounces, but not nearly what we would have even wanted. All right, we keep it going. IDYA, it's at the highs, right? Bit of a thin book. That's what I'd say there. So, I know it's moving up a little bit. If it was moving up a lot a bit, then I'd probably be more interested in putting this on our main watch list right now. Looks like it is breaking above highs back from like last couple months, back from last year even. 52-week highs, perhaps you could say. 2176 should be a strong historical level. Doji basically on the weekly chart. Uh, Otherwise, 21, obviously, whole number levels you'd want to follow generally in terms of liquidity. You know what? I'll slip this on our list, but it's definitely more of a level 4 or 5 trade. So any of our new students should not be following this. You should be following something that has a lot more filled in of an order book. All right, let me keep it going, folks. What else we got? So far, we got 3 on there right now. Ooh, good timing. I didn't even realize this was making a bit of a move here. Yeah, APLT, not bad. I mean, spread, I hope consistently stays around 1 cent, 1 to 2 cents, but popping back up right now, nice little move. We'll see if this sticks. For right now, it makes the cut. A lot of these cheapies are not trying to swing trade, hold overnight into the next day, or let alone the after hours. Oftentimes, they'll just collapse and pull back lower, gap back down. UIHC, and not really doing much there. Won't pass. I feel like we got a lot of these stocks that are like up like, 10, 12, 15% that like fit the mold, fit the criteria. Cheap stock, up big, good volume so far on the day, but does it really look good on the chart? Does it have a good order book? Those are the other talking points we got to follow. I see a bunch of these FRC tickers on here, so I will jump to was it First Republic, that's it. Losing track of my names there with all these bank stocks. First Republic. I mean, this is one of the stocks I took a small loss on earlier. I took a break even, then I took a couple small losses actually. So it was off 1570. I was looking for the hold and run off support there. It gave it to me at first, but then I went break even and I jumped back in again. I ended up taking a 3-cent loss. I jumped back in again, ended up taking a 3-cent loss. So with that, pulled back a lot lower. Happy I didn't hold on, but yeah, certainly the trend on this is not looking too great here at this point. So, up big on the day, good stock to keep on your side list, really good liquidity. Definitely a stock that I keep on my side list personally, but just obviously not making the move I want. All right. So, anything else looking good on the gainer side here, folks? Just type it in on the chat board here. Let me just jump over to the loser side right now, seeing if there's anything as good, if not better. How about Bed Bath Beyond trading like nearly half a bill today, volume wise? It's pretty crazy. EYPT down big. What goes up Friday? What comes back down? We just talked about it before, right? Just this though. I mean, I guess it was easy to borrow. Actually, could have been a good short in hindsight, but not really doing it too much for us here, though. I mean, I feel like it will only just kind of weaken into the close, consolidate, not really present much. I mean, in that sense, maybe it could be a good short, but then the order book just doesn't really fill in too well. So. FGEN. Nice drop. This thing took a huge hit earlier. I don't know what news came out to go from like 20 plus down to sub 16 or sub 17. Let me actually just only for this one. I was like the newsman earlier here. I can't do that for every stock right now. We got class coming up, but FGEN announces completion of patient enrollment in their phase 3 clinical study. Bunch of words above my pay grade. Pulmonary fibrosis. That's what I got there. That came out though. Oh no, that came out Monday, but April 3rd. The heck? There's no news from Benzinga on this stock. Normally they are to the punch and like really up to date on this. There's got to be a reason why this thing's down 16.5%. So, hey, if there's anyone out there that knows, feel free to type it in the chat board. Either way, not going to rip my hair out wondering why. I'm just at this stage right now. It's actually above a big level here off of 1698. If we could flip this back into resistance, then I'd say continuation on the way down as a short. Does present a good opportunity as a potential short. Should it break back under there, I'll give it a look. I'll give it a fair shake there. All right, so AI. Now here we go. One of the stocks I am still in right now. I could have taken some profit, I guess, but just one of those trades I was kind of hoping for a bigger squeeze up into the close. It doesn't seem like it's really giving that to me right here. I'm in from 1770, and just right now it's going nowhere. So I'm going to be out of this trade by the time class starts. At this point, my day is pretty much over with anyway. So a couple trades I'm in. If they pop before class, perfect. If not, then so be it. Either way, break even or nothing, right? So yeah, AI not going to put on any list here at this stage. All right. So folks, let me know if there's anything else looking good, up, down, left, right, more than that 5% we look for Phil or Bill or John or any one of us inside our chat board right now. Check Benzinga here pretty quickly since I got it up. I'm going to go over this briefly in class, at least later on today, for all of us joining me live in the Phase 1 course. Not a whole big to-do on it, but just showing you briefly what I use. So this right now, not a whole lot making a recent pop, recent drop that looks incredible. That's all right. We don't need to get to the bottom of the barrel to realize that we're at the bottom of the barrel. All right, folks, I think that's going to do for right now. So in total, we got 2, 4, 5 stocks to work with. Not bad, really. I mean, not too big, not too little. Perfect. All right, so for all of us joining me in Class A, click that link right there to join. We'll begin in about 15, 20 minutes, so we got a little time, but if you want to square yourself away with the audio, video, technical, make sure that you are good to go by clicking that link there in the chat board below. And then otherwise, for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. If you have any questions before joining us inside our live trading room, feel free to shoot me a quick email. I won't run out of breath there. Josh@c2trading.com. And otherwise, though, if you were interested in joining us, though, our audio commentary will continue at 3 p.m. Eastern time later on today. Rich will be back on the mic. But if you were interested in joining us, go right down at the bottom right there just to sign up. And then otherwise, for all of us joining me in class, I look forward to talking to you folks pretty shortly. Now, at the buzzer, at the horn here, before we part ways, Richard C. saying NCPL up 26%. Ooh, all right. Maybe I looked at it before. I don't recall. NCPL. Oh, did not. Look at that. Little pop right there. Ooh. Now, how about this? If you joined me in class earlier today, let's help Richard out. Let's help others out here. Otherwise, why would this not be tradable right now? Why would this not be tradable right now? It's up big. Cheap stock. Sam says very thin book, meaning level 3, level 4. Well, it might even be halted. Might even be halted, Sam. Might be halted right now. So if that's the case, you got to pardon it. But aside from that, though, you're on the right track of things because the answer is in relation to volume. It's only trading 33,000 shares right now. It's 2:46 Eastern time. So unless if some crazy news just came out, which I'll check. I said I wasn't going to check anymore, but here I am. All right, let's take a quick look. NCPL, what do we got? No news. No news since March 16th. So it's an interesting call. I appreciate it more than anything because it's good to go over these things. We just covered it earlier in our class. We'll continue this conversation coming up in about 18 or so minutes. It's a great segue. But otherwise, right now, for this time of the day, just there's no big money trading on this stock just yet. So unless if this opens, we start seeing a litany of shares being traded, very filled in order book, then we're going to focus on other things. But hey, if it shows those characteristics, then I'll tell you what, I'll flip script and we'll follow that thing at least from that point forward. See if it ends up presenting an opportunity. But I think way too illiquid though for right now. All right, folks. So, hey, join me in class if you're interested in not. If not, best of luck trading going into the market close for all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live. Be a friend, tell a friend. Just make sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/cybertradingu. Talk to you soon.